Welcome to this bonus episode of Timm Talk, the podcast about the DC animated universe co-created by Bruce Timm. I'm Chris Lord.
I'm Cameron Dexter.
And we're back!
We're back, baby.
Off of a longer break that I'll admit I had anticipated, mostly because I was just trying to get my life back together.
Hey, I'm refreshed.
So,
I'm ready. I don't know about you.
I'm feeling good.
Good. You don't sound ready.
I never sound ready, do I?
That's fair. That is the staple of this podcast. If one of us is not ready, and you, the audience, get to figure out who it is by the end of the show.
Exactly. Well, I think they've already figured out very quickly this time. Part of it's like I'm trying to remember how to do this.
That's fair.
It seems silly. It's been 2 months.
We did it for 5 years.
Yeah. It's been only 2 months, but I have to stop and wait, how does this work? Okay, I think I remember how to do this. But yeah, we took a little bit longer break than anticipated. So for those of you who've been waiting for a new episode, sorry for the delay, but we're here with a new episode.
It's called Building Anticipation, Chris.
Exactly. And for those of you that were
We've
waiting,
been wanting more.
Yes.
But instead of professionals who do a long wait for the encore,
Yeah.
we decided to take a pause before the headliner.
Exactly. Yeah, that's true. We really did. Yeah, because if you've been waiting for us to start Justice League Unlimited, I apologize. You have to wait a little bit longer. We decided to do a warm-up lap with one of the non-DCAU movies, Justice League Crisis on Two Earths.
Yes.
But we're covering this now because it's kind of DCAU a little bit, which we'll get into.
It's got the team, the background team, not the voice team.
No.
'Cause that was something we will talk about.
Oh, I have notes. Yeah, I mean, so the little bit of history on this is this started out as part of the DCAU. So I think we talked about this a little bit on A Better World, the Justice Lords episode. But that episode originally was supposed to be the Crime Syndicate.
Mm-hmm.
And then they decided it would be more compelling to have it be the League members you already know. So they changed it to the Justice Lords, which I believe were an entirely original creation at that time. And then those episodes came out. And then this script kind of got reworked and eventually became Justice League Worlds Collide, which was supposed to bridge Justice League and Justice League Unlimited. And we'll get into some of the specifics we see in here of them trying to lay some of these pieces in place. And then it was basically ready to go and I think weeks away from recording, and then it got scrapped. I'm not quite sure why. I don't know if anyone knows. Probably Bruce Timm.
Yeah, I'm sure internal people know.
Yeah, they must know why it didn't happen.
But we're not that close to them.
We're not. So I don't know why it didn't happen. Someone out there might. But it basically just got shelved, and then a few years after Justice League Unlimited had wrapped, they put this out with some slight tweaks to the script as its own original movie. And I think that's probably for the best.
Yeah, I would say this is kind of the peak, or not this movie specifically, but this era is the peak of DC movie animation.
Yeah.
Because I think right after this we got Red Hood, or right before this we got Red Hood.
Yeah, it was around the same time.
Mm-hmm. And then Doom was shortly after.
Yeah. Yeah, I this era was always my favorite of the animated movies.
Same.
We've talked about it before, but even Superman Doomsday, it's simple, but it's pretty solid.
Yeah.
But one of the things I noticed while watching this is the animation is so good.
It's so smooth.
Yeah. And I mean, the plot's relatively thin, and we'll get into it.
Look what happens when you detract from the voice acting budget just for animation.
Yeah, I think that's where most of the budget went. And to be honest, it shows. I think this is some of the crispest, cleanest animation we've seen. And also, the action sequences are pretty solid.
Mm-hmm.
This is mostly... it's an hour and 15 minutes. Most of it's fight sequences, but they're all pretty good.
They're all very fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they're a little bit different. They throw weird things at us. The animation looks great. It looks fantastic. But I was kind of hoping, could we just get our cast back? Because it is kind of noticeable.
Yeah, so I'm going to start getting into it now.
Let's just do it. Yeah.
I feel bad because for me at least, there's two names on this voice acting list that mean a lot.
Okay.
One for voice acting reasons and one for Family Guy reasons.
Right.
So you have James Woods.
Yes.
Playing Owlman,
yes.
The opposite of Batman.
Famously awful person, James Woods.
Yes. And then you have Nolan North, who is one of the most prolific voice actors in history.
He's Nathan Drake, right?
Yes. Yeah, he's everybody in video games.
Yeah.
He's almost everyone in cartoons.
Yeah.
He like you have heard, especially in like the anime community.
Mm-hmm.
Nolan North is one of the go-to dub voices for
Oh, okay.
anime. There's basically like 5 people that do it, and he's one of them.
Yeah. Because he's Superboy, right? On Young Justice?
I believe so.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he's in everything.
Mhm.
I felt like he was kind of underutilized here because he's Green Lantern and then the crime syndicate version of Green Lantern, but
Power Ring.
Power Ring. I love their fake names.
I have a list.
I know you do. And I know those came from the comics. I think most of them at least came from the comics.
Mhm.
But yeah, like Nolan North, not really utilized very well. I think for me, the standouts were James Woods, who does this really fantastic, just
Oh, it is
completely.
my favorite monologue.
Yeah, it's just so he's so deadpan. Like he comes off as so cold and calculating and clinical and dispassionate. And I think that works really well. And then also Gina Torres, who is Superwoman in this, the evil
Yes.
version of Wonder Woman. I just love her in general, and I think she really brings a lot of sparkle to that character in a really fun way. To be honest, the rest of them kind of take or leave.
Yeah, they almost bring a different kind of attitude to the characters, which can be good in some instances.
Yeah.
But I don't remember who's doing the voice of Superman. Superman sounds jaded throughout this whole movie.
It's Mark Harmon of Freaky Friday, but more really NCS fame. NCIS.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, I don't know what NCS is.
NCIS, yeah. I have
National Criminal Syndicate.
Naval Criminal Investigative Service. I've actually watched a lot of NCIS.
Naval?
Naval, yeah.
Like stomach?
No, like the Navy.
Oh. That makes a lot more sense.
Yes, they have stretched out like 20 seasons about someone investigating naval crimes
They could.
of the stomach.
I'm sure
all the
they
different
could.
stomach ailments. I mean, it's kind of insane they have made it go this long when it's just Navy. So I've actually seen a lot of that show because our friend Kira, when we were in college together, we would just like it would just show up on TBS and we just sit down and watch it. So eventually I started buying for her her birthday like the next box set, and we sit down and watch them together. So I've seen probably the first 7 or 8 seasons in its entirety, and we just stopped watching because it just goes on forever. It's dumb. It's fun characters.
What kind
It's
of
dumb.
what kind of problems happen in the Navy that are not naval related?
I mean, there are some that are like tenuous at best. It's like, oh, this body is like washed ashore next to the naval base. Well, it's in our jurisdiction, so we're gonna cover it. It's like that. a lot.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, so real stretched. I feel like I can get a good season out of that.
Yeah.
And I think maybe they wanted to switch.
Well, so it's
Like,
also
sorry, we already built the boat. We have the set.
the funny thing is that show is actually a spinoff of Jag.
Hell yeah, that was my dad's favorite show.
There you go. I mean, both those shows are dad shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but now it's spawned like
Well, that's
this
what
whole
TBS was. It was the Dad Network.
the dad channel. Yeah.
In the 90s, you had TBS for dads and HGTV or TLC at the time for moms.
Oh, that's true. I mean, you still have HGTV for moms.
That's true.
That's all my mom watches.
TLC was Trading Spaces, which was my mom's favorite show.
Oh, there you go. I can't watch reality TV, but I have an appreciation for those that can.
Oh, she just watched it for the room decorations.
Well, of course. Yeah. Now, like, our generation has to watch those shows to live out the fantasy we'll never get
Of owning a house.
of owning a house and getting to do decorations. Like, I get game pop-up ads on my phone that are like, hey, redecorate this bathroom. Like, fuck you. Don't remind me that'll probably never happen for me.
That's why Animal Crossing's so big.
God damn it. What a sad universe we live in.
I know. But even in Animal Crossing, you can't escape the debt.
No, absolutely not. It's impossible. But yeah, like the voice cast on this, it's fine. Vanessa Marshall does Wonder Woman, and I love Vanessa Marshall. And she's played Wonder Woman, I think, in other times too, and I think she does a pretty solid job. The rest are kind of forgettable, or I don't even know who they are. No offense to these people.
Yeah,
but
I tried looking a lot of them up, and they all had kind of like one standout thing,
Yeah.
but nothing really to note.
Also, can we just agree that William Baldwin is probably one of the worst Batman voice actors?
Yes.
I
I think that's why I was so irked by this.
it just doesn't sound like Batman. Like, I think he mistakes. I feel like his performance is also going for like a deliberately cold and indifferent take, which is not really accurate to Batman. like he's serious, but you can hear characterization and life and emotion in Kevin Conroy's performance and Bruce Greenwood's performance. Here, it's almost like he's doing
Dietrich Bader's performance.
Yes, Dietrich Bader is fucking amazing. I feel like in this, he's kind of just doing Owlman light. Like almost like they had James Woods recording and William Baldwin heard a sample of it. It's like, oh, I'm just going to do like a version of that because we're doppelgangers. Even though they're not the same people, I don't think.
What do you mean?
Well, I kind of interpret if the voice is different between the two, then it's not the same person. Like, I don't think that's Bruce Wayne.
No, it's Thomas Wayne Jr.
Okay, there we go. Thank you. I'm glad you know this.
I'm ready.
I sure as shit
I'm ready
didn't.
for trivia. Send me the questions. I got the buzzer.
Okay, wait. So you did do a lot of research on all this and the Crime Syndicate?
I did.
Okay.
I love the Crime Syndicate. I love this world, this universe. This is one of my favorite DC animated films of all time.
Yeah.
Just because it's the same reason that I think JLU is my favorite show. It takes a huge conglomeration of people and then just changes it a little bit.
Okay, yeah.
And it's so much fun. You get to see everybody in this. It's cameos galore.
You really do. Well, I feel like the animators must have had so much fun coming up with what will the evil doppelganger versions of all these different heroes look like.
The looks are great.
They really are.
Even better.
I mean, what were some of your favorites? Looks or names? Oh, Breakdance.
Is Jive.
Who's that spelled? Jive?
Sorry, not Jive. Vibe. Sorry,
Vibe. Oh, okay. Yeah. Got it.
Yep, Vibe.
Breakdance.
Breakdance is great. Let's see, what were some of the other ones? Warwolf is Lobo. I don't even know why Lobo's here.
When I saw them, like, oh, okay, they're doing Tom of Finland Lobo.
Yeah.
Do you know what Tom of Finland is?
I don't.
So it was this artist, this very famous queer artist, but he kind of was one of the major pioneers of like masculine homoerotic art.
Okay.
So you've probably seen his stuff just somewhere, someplace. Like it's all black and white. They're all very like beefcakey. They're all wearing leather vests and hats and caps and sort of thing. Like that's the sort of aesthetic they put on Lobo, where he's randomly dressed up like a leather daddy.
Amazing. Okay, yeah.
Like he's always, kind of like a leather biker sort of vibe, but this was much more specific. Like this is it's just Tom of Finland.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but sure. But yeah, also, why is Lobo there?
Yeah, there's a couple that I'm like, they're not really like a hero turned evil. They're kind of just a villain stayed villain.
Yeah.
I think my favorite name is, instead of Mr. Terrific, it's Mr. Horrific. I'm like, applause to that one. That you nailed that one.
That's really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
I really like their version of the Marvel family, the Captain Marvel family.
Yeah.
Here referred to as
the Supers.
Yes, Captain Super, Captain Super Junior, and Uncle Super. It's a cool look. I mean, it's very
and Mary
Black
Mayhem.
Adam. Is she in this?
She's listed. I'm sure she was on like the board when they're showing all the pictures.
Yeah, because we get some actually have voice actors and get a little performance out of them. Some are just visually in the background as part of the action. And you're right, some of them are just pop up on a screen when they're describing how the whole family works.
Mm-hmm.
Also, should we explain what this movie is?
I think we should.
Okay. It's been a while, everyone. It's been a little while. But yeah, I mean, you've probably figured it out already, but it's a story where the Justice League is recruited by a doppelganger Lex Luthor of another universe.
Who kept his name.
I was
a little upset by that.
He's like the one who he is fighting the Crime Syndicate, which is not exact copies of our Justice League in the way that they were in A Better World, but doppelgangers, like approximation. So, Ultraman is Superman, Superwoman is Wonder Woman, sort of thing. Owlman is Batman. And Lex basically recruits our Justice League to come with him in his universe to take them down, partly because Owlman has built this world-ending bomb that he's going to set off, which when he realizes there are alternate universes, he basically decides that everything is pointless, so he's just going to detonate the bomb on the original Earth, which will wipe out all life and all continuities forever.
Project Damocles.
Project Damocles. Who was Damocles?
Thank you for asking, Chris. The Sword of Damocles is a Roman anecdote about the ever-present
anecdote
of the ever-present doom that lives in our lives.
Okay.
It is kind of that like It's supposed to be that like feeling you have when you're like something is gonna go wrong, but you
Okay.
can't like put your finger on it. It's you
Oh,
say,
okay.
I feel the sword of Damocles hovering above me. Is kind of what they
Oh.
said back then.
Okay.
It's kind of the ever present anxiety of life, which feels very relevant right now.
Very relevant. Cameron, have you ever used that phrase?
I will now.
I mean, I kind of will too. Just at work, like, you know, when I know someone's like about ready to send us like an output, they have to go out at 7 o'clock on a Friday, I'm like, I feel the sort of Damocles over us right now.
Yeah, so the tale is supposed to be like, you know, death will always be at the end. Doom will always be there, but it's about finding the light and finding the joy of beyond the doom.
Oh, okay. Well, I think
right.
Owlman missed that part of the anecdote.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because he's just all doom and gloom here.
Oh, like to an extreme.
Yeah. Now, you said that his monologue is one of your favorites.
Yes.
So which one specifically and why?
The one where he teaches the multiverse. Because it's the first time that this movie was my first introduction to multiverse mentality.
Okay. So it's when he's talking to Superwoman and explaining that all the universes exist. Or is it the end when
I like it when he's talking to Batman.
To Batman, okay.
Yeah. So before there was thought, there was this place, one Earth, a single history. But with the coming of man, the illusion of free will, and with that illusion came chaos. With every choice we make, we literally create another world. History branches into creating one Earth where we made the choice and one where we didn't. That's the secret of the universe, you know. Billions of people making billions of decisions, creating infinite Earths. Some so similar, you could spend an entire lifetime searching for any distinction. Others so radically different, they defy comprehension. That is like the perfect explanation of what multiverse thinking is.
Now, I had a thought about this version of the multiverse, right? Like one where a decision spawns another universe. This is maybe the most egocentric thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Yes.
Because it basically says that the only reason multiverses exist is because humans, maybe just any sentient life form, but in this case, this context, pretty much just humans, because it's referring to Earth, that every time any human ever, anytime, anywhere has made a decision, it's spawned an alternate universe, which is it's the idea that the natural universe revolves around humanity. It's like, oh, the hubris on display here.
I would love a multiverse where it's a different animal,
Yeah,
or a different creature that it revolves around. It's like, this is the honeybee multiverse.
The dodo multiverse.
Yes,
which just stopped at a certain
They decided
point.
to eat this plant instead of that plant. Yeah, all dodo, like, it wasn't just our planet, just all dodos across the multiverse decided to die universally.
And all the universes we know it. Yeah, I mean, I also love the idea of multiverse, and this was probably one of my first times kind of learning about it. I mean, I'd obviously seen A Better World prior to this, and I'm sure I'd seen it in other places too. Well, Star Trek, the Mirror Mirror universe, pretty famously did this, but I had never thought about that until now. Like, this interpretation is like absolutely bananas. In contrast, there's like a multiverse that exists where there's different dimensions, and we're not necessarily given the origin of why there are different dimensions. Now, do you know, is that also the origin of the multiverse in the DC comics as well?
I don't believe so.
Yeah.
Not to this extreme, because famously there are 52 worlds in the DC universe, hence New 52.
Yeah.
Which I think was first introduced in Crisis in the 80s.
Okay. That would make sense, yeah.
And it has kind of repeated itself multiple times over.
So many times.
I think this is the closest I can think is the Infinite Crisis story from the early 2000s. Because that deals not especially with like destroying Earth Prime, but we learn there is a Superman Prime or Superboy Prime from that Earth, and he's the last remaining person on that planet.
Oh, that's why he's called Superboy Prime.
Yes.
Did not know that.
And he has kind of this vendetta of like, why does everyone else get to have basically a happy planet when I have to deal with this shit? You need to shut up about your Lois, Superman 2. I got nobody.
Doesn't he like punch a universe or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
I don't know.
I've read it twice and nothing sticks.
Comics.
There's so much nonsense.
Look, multiverse stories are hard. They're hard to do well. And like, I'm giving this one shit because it's just so asinine and it's like arrogance. But I think if we can accept that that's how this version of multiverse exists, this story does a really good job explaining it, following through on the logic of it, sticking to its rules. Like it makes sense that, okay, the original Earth, if you blow it up, everything else would go away simultaneously. Like that holds.
Yeah, I guess.
You guess? What doesn't hold about it for you?
Well, because it would still be a decision. You'd still be a human on an Earth who made that decision.
Oh,
so
yeah.
technically that would create an alternate universe where there's a you on that Earth that didn't make that decision.
Or
so you would just spawn an entire new universe. Like the entire known existence of man would just kind of flip into this other new existence of man as like a clone universe.
Yeah. I mean, that could be an unintended consequence of what his choice was. But from his perspective, everything that had existed would in fact die.
Yeah.
Still. So I also don't think he cares.
I don't think so either. And I loved that little beat at the end. We're just going to jump straight to the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because, time doesn't mean anything anymore.
Nope.
I love, because I missed this the first time I watched it. I loved that Batman gave Owlman the option to save himself. And he set it up to where he could have stopped the bomb if he wanted to.
Oh, okay.
But Owlman chose to say, what's the point?
Yeah.
This is peak Hot Topic Batman.
Yeah, Owlman's just like, nothing matters.
Exactly.
And it all blows to hell. Actually, I hadn't realized that when I watched this, just this time now, that you're right. I guess Batman does give him the option. Because I kind of saw it as like, oh, this Batman intended to kill him. But I guess he had a choice, didn't he?
He had a choice.
Yeah.
He didn't kill him. He just stranded him on an Earth with no human life.
Yeah. I guess that actually does kind of make more sense then. Because I was wondering why Batman didn't just hit the big green abort button that was up on the screen. And now that makes sense, is that he wanted to just like neutralize the threat and then leave Owlman decide what he would do.
Yes. And Owlman chose death.
Chose obliteration.
Welcome to the Black Parade, my emo friend.
I love that song, by
It's
the way.
amazing.
Yeah,
I bought tickets. I recently got an email reminder. I bought tickets for the reunion tour back in 2019.
Woof.
Forgot that I bought the tickets. Ticketmaster could have just kept the money. And I got an email reminding me saying that the My Chemical Romance concert just got rescheduled from 2021 to 2022.
It's amazing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you for reminding me I owned these tickets.
3 years later.
Yes. Still excited. It's fine.
Yeah.
We have happy pills now.
It's fine. Nothing matters.
Nothing matters. Thanks, Owlman.
Nothing
This is not what I
matters.
needed in my existential crisis.
Yes.
That's the next DC comic. We had Crisis of Infinite Earth,
Yeah, no, we
Infinite
get-
Crisis, Identity Crisis.
It's just
Now it's
existential crisis.
Existential Crisis.
In my mind, it would just be a series of panels of heroes just sitting, staring off into oblivion.
It would be the same panel 16 times across
Yeah.
the page in perfect squares.
It's like the SpongeBob gif of like him just sitting at the diner table, like just staring into his hands. I guess it's like waiting for something to happen, but it just has this look of just existential dread. Why does anything matter? This is pointless.
Yeah.
But it's just every single DC hero in that exact same pose. Batman at the doing it in the Batcave. Superman at his desk at the Daily Planet.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah.
Desk or, Fortress of Solitude.
Although Flash would be a little bit different. It would be him like running.
Every panel, it'd be the same pose.
Yeah.
Every panel would be, the background would be different.
Exactly. Like he's just going around the world staring off into nothing. I'd read it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is they do a good job like handling the multiverseness of this. So but why is this one of your favorites? I mean, I like this one a lot. I don't know if I put up amongst my favorites though in terms of the animated movies.
There's a thing about this movie, especially with Batman, that I really, really enjoy. And it's specifically his connection to Flash. And I couldn't put my finger on it until someone else kind of spotlighted it for me.
Sure.
So it's a TikTok girl. I think her handle's like Fact or Fiction or something. I'll say it in later.
Okay.
But basically, this is the universe, or this is the movie that solidifies Flash's trust in Batman.
Oh, okay.
And so there's a moment in
Yeah.
the beginning, which is huge foreshadowing, which is they're building the Watchtower in the start of the movie. And I guess this is the first time they're testing kind of boom
Zeta beam.
Zeta Tech. Thank you.
Yeah.
They're the same thing to me. I know they're not the same,
not
but
the
it's
same.
basically the same.
Yeah.
They're testing Zeta tech.
So there's boom tubes, there's Zeta tubes, and there's Zeta, the murder bot.
Yes.
Yes, not to get confused.
And Boom, the comic franchise.
God damn it. And Boom Boom, the character from X-Men Evolution.
Yes. Not to be confused with Bam Bam.
Right.
The son from the Flintstones.
God damn it. There's nothing new anymore, but sorry, continue. They're testing the Zeta beams.
Yes, and so everyone minus Flash is up in space working on the Watchtower.
Yeah.
And Flash gets to be the test bunny for the first Zeta trip to the Watchtower.
Yeah.
And Batman, you know, in his deadpan voice, he's like, I think it's going to work. And he teleports Flash, and Flash is furious. Like, how is this an uncertainty? You're just going to test my life with this new technology.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman has to remind him, like, Batman would never do anything to hurt you or any of us.
Yeah.
Like, he always has our best interest in heart. And then that is repeated at the end of the movie when they need to get to Earth Prime. They need a speedster to kind of, you know, do his reality shifting bullshit.
Yeah, vibrate.
The ultimate answer to everything is just vibrate faster.
Yeah. Run, Barry.
Yeah, run, Barry. And so Barry says, like, oh, I'm the fastest one here. I can do it. And Batman, again, deadpan is like, you're not fast enough. You can't do it. That guy's faster. Johnny Quick.
Johnny Quick.
The Australian down under Flash.
Honestly, I think I prefer that version.
Oh, he's the best. Don't like his costume, but love his
terrible
love the
costume.
accent.
Great name. Great accent.
So Johnny Quick has to do the reality shifting, run fast Barry. And it ends up killing him.
Yeah.
Maintaining that speed for so long.
I guess it like ages him.
Yes.
To the point where he dies. Yeah.
And his last words, as you know, and Batman knows. We can assume Batman knows, because when he gets out of the portal, it is a frantic, I'm back, stop now.
Yeah.
Because he knows something like this is going to happen. And so we see an aged Johnny Quick. Flash goes to catch him, and his last words are, you son of a bitch. Not exactly.
Yeah.
But you son of a bitch, you knew this was going to happen.
Yeah.
And Batman says nothing. Which is such a huge, like, he would not let Barry make the sacrifice play. No. Ever. If it's going to be someone, it's going to be him.
Yeah. I mean, there's a history of that in like all forms of DC media where Batman won't ask anyone else to do it. He'll just do it.
Yeah.
Because he has to do it.
Right. Like we saw in the last episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, exactly. In Starcross.
I'm going to crash the Watchtower. The giant batarang in the sky.
Gentlemen, it's been an honor.
Shut up, man. You know we're going to get you.
Just a little tear running down my face. Yeah, I liked that moment a lot, actually. And I think you're right. I like that they do the foreshadowing at the beginning, and I don't want to just like beat a dead horse on this, the dead horse being William Baldwin, but I feel like that moment would have played better if it had some personality behind it. But he's so deadpan, he's so one note all the way through. I feel like Kevin Conroy would have put like a little bit of like a smile on it, if you will. Like if he would have played it in a way where you could have known that he was playing like a bit of a joke. Like it would have felt a little bit wry. Whereas here it's like, wait, was he just being a dick? I don't know.
Which, yeah, fuck this guy.
Yeah, maybe that's the point. It just felt underplayed, and I think you're right. The silence on his part at the end works better. Also because he's not talking.
Yes, but as Batman should be, not talking.
Yeah. But yeah, I did like revisiting this. I think I rewatched it during the last year. Our friend Jeb has been doing these Zoom movie nights, and he did like a whole DC swath, which I loved. And I think we did this one at one point. And yeah, I do like it. I think for me, it is the voice cast, and maybe is the most underwhelming part of it. But the animation's great, and it is a good story. And I like that it's its own self-contained thing.
Yeah, and I think that's great. Like it begins and it ends, and we never hear from it again.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want a sequel for this.
No.
Rare for me to say. There's no two-parter in my brain.
You don't want another part on this?
Earth 4.
So, do you want to get into a little bit the signs this was meant to be in the DCAU?
Let's do it.
Okay, so there's a number of them. So to begin with, the Justice League here, it's the same 6 members left at the end of Starcross. Now, to be fair, it's Hal Jordan, not Jon Stewart. But that aside, it's the same 6. They are building a new watchtower because the old one was destroyed at the end of Starcross. They're talking about possibly bringing in new League members and they're building the Zeta Beam technology, which we see in the opening minutes of Justice Unlimited when they recruit Green Arrow and beam him up to the ship. We get the introduction of Wonder Woman's invisible jet, which that was kind of fun.
Yep, knocks his head on it.
Exactly.
As you would do constantly. They need something. Like, it needs to be in a glass case.
Right.
Or have it roped off.
Rope. Or
literally anything.
Or just like paint a thin outline around the edge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we do see her jet later on. Actually, in The Man Who Has Everything, right? Is that the name of the episode with Superman and the little tentacle thingy?
Yep.
Which is really early on, actually.
It's like episode 3.
So yeah, it's really early. But like we see Wonder Woman using it there. So in the DCAU, we just never got introduction. Here, this would be the introduction, I suppose. So there's all these little pieces that are kind of teeing up that this could have been a bridge between those two. I guess my question for you is, would you want it to be? Like, would you headcanon this as part of the DCU, or would you rather have seen this been done as the DCU rather than its own one-off film?
If I answered this pre-watching Justice Lords,
Okay.
I would say, yes, I want this to be part of the DCAU.
Mm-hmm.
But because the Justice Lords already exist and a concept of evil League members already exists, I think I'd rather keep that in continuity and have this be its own separate story.
I concur. Yeah, that was my thought. And maybe it's because we just watched that episode. It's only been a matter of months. But I was thinking, like, it's funny because this is longer. I mean, it's an hour and 15 versus,
Which is my dream.
Yeah, exactly. You always want more. But, I guess we'd be, about 50 minutes combined, roughly, between the two parts of A Better World. I felt like the characters in that were much more fleshed out than the characters in this, despite this having a longer runtime.
Yes. And they had the advantage of keeping it to just the 6 and 6.
Right. 7 in that case.
7 and 7.
Yeah.
Well, 7 and 6.
Yeah. Have you ever had a 7 and 7?
No.
Do you know what that is?
It's a drink?
Yeah. It's Jack Daniels. Jack Daniels number 7.
Okay.
Yeah. And 7-Up.
Oh.
It's really
I've not
good.
had that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll give it a try.
Yeah.
I know
Sorry.
the 7's workout routine, which hurts.
The 7's workout routine?
It was an upper body workout we used to do in high school where it was bicep curls. You'd do 7 half down, 7 half middle, and then 7 full.
Oh, I've always heard that referred to as 21s.
It's the same thing.
Okay, yeah.
We called them 7s.
Okay. Any other random 7 connections we could make?
I have a deep history with Dr. Pepper.
That's true.
And Dr. Pepper makes 7-Up.
Wait, hang on. Did this? Oh, damn, it's 2010. I was like, did it come out in 2007?
No, almost.
No.
In my house growing up, in my parents' house growing up, we had in the 80s or early 90s, 7-Up did a 7-Up Gold where they hid like flakes of gold in the drink.
Oh, I remember that.
And we had the first printed can like on our shelf.
That's awesome.
But we have a couple of those.
Yeah.
But most of them are empty cans, as they should be. The 7-Up Gold was filled. And since it's been encased for so long, you can see the can eroding in the back.
No.
You can see the distilled gold and bubbles through the can, and it's very cool to look at.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah. Ooh, all right. Send photos next time you're home. I want to see that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Post on your Instagram so we all can see. I do prefer the Justice Lord story to this one. This one's fun. Like I said, good action, but I'm glad it's its own thing. It would have felt a little bit repetitive.
Yeah, and I think that's the
there.
only, I think you need one or the other.
Yeah.
You can't have both.
Yeah. And that may have been the reason they decided to scrap it. It was like it feels repetitive to what we've already seen before. Yeah, you have these little things that set up pieces of the JLU, but let's be honest, you don't necessarily need those in-universe explanations. Like JLU starts, they've rebuilt the Watchtower, they have more advanced technology, they're recruiting new members. Wonder Woman has an invisible jet. We don't really need origins for all these things.
I do. Where is the jet from, though?
We don't know.
Like, ever?
I don't think we ever learn. Yeah.
Well, not in JLU, just like in comics in general.
Oh, who the fuck knows? I don't know.
Okay.
I mean, it also there's different versions of it all the way through. The real question is, why the hell would Wonder Woman need an invisible jet?
For Flash. And only for Flash.
I mean, the Flash even says, like, you can fly. Why do you need this? And I guess if she's going like a longer distance, it's better, I suppose. Or she wants to bring people with her, it's better. But also, why does it have to be invisible?
I don't know.
I don't know. The only version of this I've ever seen that I thought was pretty cool is in DC New Frontier, which, no surprise, is like my favorite comic of all time. But that it's a P-51 Mustang, which I think just fits well for the Wonder Woman of that era. And the fact that we only get a chance to see like the vague outline of it because Wonder Woman's covered in blood and the blood gives like a silhouette
Oh, that's good.
of what the plane looks like. I thought that was a nice touch. Good job, Darwin Cook.
I think my problem with the invisible jet is the way it's always depicted is the people inside are never invisible with it. You just see them sitting there in the sky. And like that's hilarious on one part. On like a visual standpoint, that's fucking hilarious. But as a practical standpoint, what are you doing? There's literally no need. There's no reason for that.
Yeah, you're right.
Nothing else internally is invisible.
Yeah.
It's or visible. It's just the user.
I had forgotten that because in this, it's just, you know, anything inside is also invisible too. And I guess like the only other time I saw it recently would have been in Wonder Woman 84, which is the same thing. Like the whole thing becomes invisible, becomes truly stealth.
What if you have to use the bathroom? I'm sure there's a bathroom on the plane. Do you just see the distilled piss sitting there?
Oh God, you're right. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. Like the fuel tanks are invisible.
Yeah.
So why does everything else? Is anything organic and invisible? Like if you had a banana like sitting on the back counter somewhere, would you see that?
Probably.
Yeah. This is weird.
Yeah. We have a lot of questions about the invisible jet.
Comic book logic. I don't understand it. But yeah, I think this works better as it is. Like it's nice to just have kind of this one-off movie telling this really succinct story. It's part of the reason I love Justice League Doom as well. Like I love that you can kind of just jump in, and if you already know these characters, it's that much better, but you don't really need to. Like, I mean, this came out in 2010. I had seen Justice League. I think this was probably relatively early on in your DC exposure, right?
Yeah, and I think that's why I loved it so much. Was like this was the first time I knew characters.
Okay,
was
yeah.
when I watched this movie.
Yeah. You know, they do a good job. Like, they kind of set up the concept even in just the purely visual storytelling done in the opening credits. Like, they just keep showing, like, mirror reflections of the two. And you're like, okay, I get it. They're doppelgangers. Cool. We don't really need a lot of explanation. And I think it's part of the fun of that is if you do know the character like we do, you can spot them as we go along, right? So it's like, I love that this universe has this weird, like, monstrous Jimmy Olsen.
I love Buff Jimmy.
Yeah.
That is one of my favorite things about this movie is Buff Jimmy.
Who I think his name is Mr. Action for some reason.
Great.
It's fantastic. But, you know, it's great. You don't need it. You don't need the explanation. Like, okay, cool. They're evil. They have the same superpowers as our league. They're going to fight. Great. We don't know why Lex Luthor is the only one that's the same. I don't know.
Well, Slade Wilson, same name.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
Flipped eye patch.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yes.
That's a good point.
Flipped
Yeah.
eye patch.
President Slade Wilson.
Yes.
Slade.
On that point, do you prefer this or Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go?
Ooh. I think Teen Titans versus Teen Titans Go, just because it's so meta and fun and silly. And look, I think this does a really good job being quote unquote grounded and serious and still having a pretty high concept like universe going on. But I do love the more meta, nod and wink, playful fun that comes with Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans.
Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
I think I prefer this one.
Okay.
I would have loved it, but I'm also glad they didn't do it where they just pulled the Justice Leagues from an infinite number of other dimensions to fight the Syndicate.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy that, like, Earth 1 League is, like, slightly better than the Syndicate. Because they would be. They're the ones that have to deal with these, you know, numerous villains.
Yeah.
And they have to stop everyone, or the Crime Syndicate is kind of just ruled with fear for so long. They wouldn't have the same combat experience as the League would.
Well, because, yeah, the Crime Syndicate, they're the top. Like, no one's above them. I mean, like, oh, technically the government's the world, but, like, they're all beck and call of the Crime Syndicate. Yeah, like, there's really no one punching down to them. Like, there's no one above them, whereas the Justice League is constantly fighting people more challenging, more tough, bigger, stronger than themselves. Yeah. Yeah, they are a little bit better, which is fun to see.
Yeah, because, like, with Justice Lords, they were basically equal, except that the lords were okay with killing.
Yeah.
And so that, made it a little like, it was more of a toss up of who was going to win.
The threat was there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas this, like, you knew the lords would kill if they, the syndicate would kill if they could.
Yeah.
But they just can't. They're not good enough.
Yeah, they're not tough enough to take him down.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I think I like that in this one we get this whole expanded crime syndicate. We get to see, their version of Black Canary and Halo and all these other random characters. But I think it actually makes the threat diluted. Where in Justice Lords, it's just those 7.
Mm-hmm.
And they have literally conquered the entire world. There is no one standing up to them anymore. And they are equal, if not slightly more superior than the Justice League we know. And so the threat feels very, very real.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas here, the big threat has to be this bomb, this universe-destroying bomb, which works. It works in the context of the story. But you're right, it's not as character compelling, I think.
Yes. So I want to go into the families really quick.
Yeah.
But there's another aspect of the families that is only mentioned in a single line,
Mm-hmm.
but is a much bigger part of the comics. But in the comics, the Syndicate, all their powers come from basically bottles. I don't think Ultraman or Superwoman,
Okay.
but everyone else kind of scientifically got their powers.
Oh, right, because they're referred to as the Made Men.
Yes, because they were exactly.
Yeah.
And so the reason they have their families and this kind of tier system is the closer you are to the Made Men, the more powerful superpower you get from them. They control the doses of who gets powers.
Oh,
which is, of
okay.
course, one of my favorite things to talk about.
It is.
There may be a story coming out about that soon.
Who knows?
Eventually, one day.
Yes.
So with that is why they have such close families and why kind of, Owlman has the biggest tree in his family, but they're all pretty, what?
Well, he's an owl.
It's funny.
Yeah, he's in a tree. It's good.
They're all pretty average because he's kind of spreading it across everyone. But then you look at Power Ring, who just has Olympia, who is the Wonder Girl clone.
Oh, okay.
And she is basically almost a match with Wonder Woman, where no one else can go one-on-one except for the Made Men in them.
Yeah, that would also explain why the super family, the doppelgangers of the Captain Marvel family, are so powerful. Is because I think they're the direct lieutenants of Superwoman.
Yes.
So that makes sense that they would have really extreme powers.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's clever.
Yeah, so I'll do a quick run through just so we can get the wonderful names out of the way. Owlman's faction is Black Power, Black Lightning. Model Citizen, who I didn't know her comparison until looking her up.
I looked her up too, and I hadn't really heard of the character before.
Looker.
Was that what it was?
Yes.
I literally looked this up moments ago, and I forgot it already.
A vampire.
Looker. Oh, yeah, there she is. Oh, she's a vampire. Yeah. Okay.
Did not expect that.
Nope.
But apparently she's in season 2 of Black Lightning.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
So that's cool. She's a vampire with telekinetic and telepath powers.
Okay.
Psy, a comparison to Katana, and Aurora, comparison to Halo.
Oh,
All
that's good.
Very comparable.
Oh, that's a clever turn on Aurora. That works. Yeah.
Great thesaurus work by the writers of this team.
Okay, so what are the other families?
Superwoman has the supers. So you have Captain Super, Captain Super Junior, Uncle Super, and Mary Mayhem. Manhawk being Hawkman. Some of these are just so they gave up at one point.
Bird Person.
Bird Person. Mr. Horrific. We went over as Mr. Terrific.
Yeah.
This one bugs me. Instead of Metamorpho, it is Megamorpho.
It's brilliant.
They stopped caring.
Brilliant.
And SheBat, I don't think we see, but this is an interesting one because SheBat is a combination of both Man-Bat and Catwoman.
Huh.
But they're both villains / neutral.
Yeah. I guess there's some gray area for both of them.
Yeah.
Because I guess I think we could say that Kirk Langstrom's not necessarily a villain, but Man-Bat is.
Fair. Okay.
Yeah. I don't know.
Johnny Quick's team, he just has 3. Warwolf, being Lobo. Archer, Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Scream Queen, Black Canary.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, pretty good ones.
That's
pretty
really
easy
good.
comparisons.
Yeah.
And then Martian Manhunter's team, who is killed at the very beginning of the movie. It's not John Jones.
It's like Jenkins Jones or something.
So his team basically is adopted by Owlman.
Okay.
So we see Breakdance, who's Vibe, Intruded Man, hate that one, as Elongated Man.
Oh, that's so dumb. Intruded?
Sorry, Extruded.
Extruded.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it kind of works.
Yeah. I feel like that's the designer had that word. 'Cause that's a design word.
It works at a stretch.
Shut up. Shut up. Which is frustrating because there is already in the comics there's Elasti-Man, who is Plastic Man, or is Elongated Man's doppelganger.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know there was that. There's an Elastiman too.
Only in this universe. In the
Oh,
Crimson
okay.
universe,
That makes more sense. Got it.
Vamp is Vixen, which is interesting because they transformed. I don't think Vixen transformed. She just adopts the strength of the animal.
Yeah.
So I thought this was a Beast Boy.
Yeah, I guess it's kind of a combination then of Beast Boy and Vixen.
Gypsy Woman, who is Gypsy. And then Angelique was Hawk Girl, who's also killed at the beginning of the movie.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, those are the main families we see.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't see anyone from Ultraman.
I guess it's just Jimmy, right?
Jim.
Mr. Action Man, whatever his name was. Yeah.
The best one.
Beefy Jim.
He's so good.
He really is. I mean, it's fun. It's just like it's a fun structure.
It's so fun.
Yeah, to see all these. Like I said this before, but the animators must have had so much fun just thinking like, what could this look like? What could an alternative version of this look like?
And since we're already in the list, I just want to give my last one just to get it out of the way, so I don't have to worry about it anymore. In the comics, Lex's team is known as the Justice Underground.
Okay.
Which, interesting enough, Lex is not a part of. There's a different leader that I want you to guess after I give you the rest of the members.
Okay. So of the members, I have to guess which one is the leader.
No. I will not give you the leader character. I want you to guess who would be in place of the head.
Oh, okay.
So you have Sir Solomon Grundy.
Fantastic.
Yep. He's in like a super nice 3-piece suit, but still the buff Grundy.
Yeah.
He's great with top hat and everything. General Grodd.
Okay.
Messed me up a little bit because I'm like, but he's already a villain, like Zod.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's not. It's Grodd.
It's Grodd. Okay, yeah.
Lady Sonar, we see Sonar in one episode of JLU, but he's basically a weaker Black Canary, but a fun suit.
Okay, I was like, is it Silver Banshee? But no, okay, it's someone else. Okay.
Star Sapphire, we know.
Makes sense.
Q Ranger, who is a Captain Atom / Major Force comparison.
Okay.
Is the main team. And sorry, Joker the Jester does not exist in this universe.
Oh, in the comics.
Yes.
That was added for the film.
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So who would take the Jester's place instead?
Is it another Batman villain?
It is.
Is it Harley?
It is not Harley. That would have been great though.
Riddler.
It is Riddler. Quizmaster is the head of the league. And it's the super nice like 3-piece suit with the question marks on it look.
Yeah.
Which is the best look of Riddler.
Quizmaster. Quizmaster. I have to look this up. That's fantastic. I'm glad it's the Riddler. You know, he never really gets his due. Okay, it's not really popping up, but I'm just seeing other weird versions of Riddler. That's great though.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we got to see a little bit more.
Me too.
I get why not though, because Lex is supposed to be the last one remaining.
But they could have done like a memorial thing in the same way that the League has their Hall of Heroes.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, that they just walk through and we get to see the holograms of all the dead heroes.
Yeah, just for the looks, because like
for the looks.
I want to see Grodd in the suit.
Yeah.
Or not Grodd, sorry, Grundy in the suit.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe Grodd's wearing a suit too.
Yeah, but that's just Min-Sor Mala at that point.
That's true. I love Min-Sor Mala.
He's so much fun.
I think one of the things I like about this is it just embrace how weird comics can be, which I think the DCAU, for good reason, oftentimes tends to like skew away from. I mean, it gets its kind of biggest and weirdest, I'd say, in JLU when they just fully open up the universe and bring in all kinds of different people, which is fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, I love the times when it's like, this is a comic book universe. We're just going to shamelessly go for it.
His name is
does.
Breakdance, and he dances.
Fucking breakdance. It's so stupid in the best way possible.
It's so good.
It's so good. Oh, I mean, like, what else do you have on this? Like,
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So we talked about the A story beats and how great they are.
Uh-huh.
But there is a B story that exists in this. And it is the romance between Martian Manhunter and Rose Wilson.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
It doesn't matter. It's pointless.
Don't think it's good. I don't like it.
No. It's a little bit weird. Like, just because I think she's probably in her early 20s at the oldest.
Usually when we see Rose, she is a kid.
Yeah.
She is
like,
not 18.
I get the impression that she's...
And he is 450 minimum.
Yeah. There is kind of a weird... Is this the right context for May December romance when there's a big age difference between the two?
I think so.
Okay.
I've never heard that before.
You never heard that phrase before?
Mm-mm.
Really?
It's too busy learning about the Sword of Damocles.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like that phrase is a trope in of itself.
Sorry, does it have Greek origin?
Probably not.
No, I don't know.
I don't know. Did May and December even exist back then?
I think so.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because it did. Because
there's July and August that were added later.
That's right. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So sure, let's say it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the age difference is kind of weird. Like their justification is that their minds are attuned, which is why they can be so close so quickly. I don't know.
Which I feel like is the same like explanation people who marry like their body pillows or marry a computer program give.
We're attuned.
Yeah. It's like she just gets me.
This is a personal pet peeve of mine, but I hate to say this. I'm just tired of hetero romance. I don't give a fuck anymore.
And this one felt so weird. I think maybe because it is Martian Manhunter and we normally see him as kind of this emotionless, stoic figure.
And I guess it's nice to see like a different side of him. Ultimately, like it doesn't really have any sort of real payoff because he leaves and goes back to his universe. Mm-hmm. When I say like I'm tired of hetero romance, like I'm tired of every story having to shoehorn one in, which this one feels very shoehorned in.
Yeah.
I just don't care.
I do like the last line of it. I do like how it ends.
What is it?
So they're leaving, and he says his goodbyes to Rose. Mm-hmm. And Wonder Woman's like, hey, if she exists here, she probably exists in our universe too.
Oh yeah.
Like with my luck, she'll probably be evil.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, that's
true.
I get that. I feel that.
Run around with a sword.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, like, you're right. I forgot that was a thing. Just finished watching it this morning and I forgot already.
Yeah. It's not big, but it's there.
It's just kind of filler.
I think it gives us an excuse for beautiful Martian Manhunter animation.
That's true. Like, this does a better job with Martian Manhunter than most of
I think this is the best look we've seen, man. Not like character look, but animation wise. The way he transforms constantly.
Yeah.
He's kind of this blob for a large part of the movie. Mm-hmm. When he catches the arrow is gorgeous, and he snakes his way from behind and grabs it in front of Rose. And then when he takes on Archer, the Green Arrow clone, and he doesn't like take him out, he basically scares him into submission.
Yeah. Well, because he lets the arrows hit and stick in his body.
Yeah.
And just keeps moving because he can transform. It doesn't phase him.
Yeah. What a fucking badass.
Yeah. It does give us some good moments from him, which I guess we may not have had if they had kept alive the Jack and Jerkin, whatever his name was, the Martian Manhunter equivalent. Mm-hmm. So you're right. I guess for that, it's worth it. But I didn't care about the romance. It just felt weird and unnecessary. And like everything needs a romance.
Jed Jarkis.
Thank you. I was close.
You were very close. You got Jarkis.
Yeah. With Jackus Jerkus, I was very close. Yeah. Just kind of, didn't really care for it. Mm-hmm. But the rest of it's fun.
The rest of it is great.
Yeah. I mean, I would classify this as like a highly recommend. I mean, if you haven't seen it, I don't know why you've listened to us talk about it.
Fair.
But if you haven't, it's worth watching.
Yeah, it's so much fun. It's one you can just kind of put on and just like enjoy an hour.
Yeah.
And you're done.
It's short. It's an hour and 15. For me, it's not on the same level as Under the Red Hood, which I think is so good. Like I often want to find a way to like shoehorn headcanon that into the DCAU.
That is universally, I think, everyone's favorite.
Yeah.
It's hard to beat that movie.
It takes a story that could be really ridiculous and just like brings it down to its like most emotionally impactful finite point and does a really stellar job with it.
Featuring Neil Patrick Harris.
Neil Patrick Harris. And I think I don't want to say the best runner-up after Kevin Conroy, but I love Bruce Greenwood as Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I've said it before, but there was a period of time when he would have made a great live-action Batman too.
It's fair. Yeah.
Yeah, he can still do it.
Yeah. He still got it.
He's got it. He's always got it. He's got it. But yeah, I do like this one a lot. I thought it was a lot of fun.
I think that's everything on my end.
All right.
Yeah. We did it.
Nice. Well, yeah, I mean, I think that basically covers it. You know, kind of hit all the major points on this. It's fun. Highly recommend. Go watch it. Also, I would love to hear other people's answers as to whether they headcanon this as DCAU or not. Because I think it's because it had its origins originally in it, I think it's the one you could most easily kind of shoehorn into that continuity. And I'm curious how people treat it, if they do treat it as a pseudo bridge between those two stories.
Yes.
Would love to know. But yeah, I mean, so we're back. We're back fully. We'll be back soon to do the first episode of Justice League Unlimited, our final series. I know. It's pretty crazy.
Home stretch, man.
I know. This is it.
It's round and third.
Yep.
What are other analogies we can use?
Throw more sports analogies at me.
The sword
I
of
won't understand.
Damocles is lowering above us.
That's true. Things will come to an end soon, but there's always hope.
Yes. Titan Talk.
Hope of Titan Talk. Exactly. Well, if you do want to reach us, you can find us at Timm Talk Pod on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Gmail.
Yes.
You can find me at Lordifer on all those same places.
Yeah. If you want to see my art, you can find that at Cameron.Dexter. I will be posting some Disney stuff soon.
That's right.
And if you want to see my face and also some Disney stuff,
yes,
you can find that at CamDexter_adventures.
Going
to the park next month.
You're heading back.
Going back, baby.
Yeah. But yeah, very excited to be back doing this.
Yeah.
The last little stretch here. So, but thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you soon.
Yeah. Talk to you guys later.
Bye-bye.
I don't know what song.
We don't have a theme. Yeah, I don't know. We got nothing.
Yeah, we'll just end it there.
Nothing matters.
Nothing matters.